In this video, you're gonna learn what the day-to-day life is like as an account executive from someone who was an account executive myself working at Oracle and a Y Combinator-backed startup. And you wanna make sure you watch this video until the end because we're gonna really dive into the inside scoop on what the job actually is like from someone who has done it before. What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick Dang here. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because it really does help this channel out. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first question we gotta ask is, what exactly is an account executive? An account executive is basically some type of representative of a company, and it's their primary role to close new deals. So when I was an account executive working at Oracle and also Lob.com, which is a Y Combinator-backed startup, essentially it was my job to close deals, like I just said. And how it typically works, whether a lot of my experience is actually in selling in Silicon Valley, but in general, many different companies follow the same structure where an account executive, right, their role is to close deals. And to actually make these deals happen, there has to be some type of lead generation process, whether it's, let's say, someone sending cold emails for you, or maybe the company you're working at does some type of marketing, whether it's running ads or blogging or YouTube videos, right? Somehow they're gonna generate interest and someone's gonna raise their hand and say, hey, I want to talk to your company to see if I wanna buy your products and services. So in that situation, that's where an account executive comes in. They're gonna be that person that comes in, talks to that customer either over the phone or let's say a Zoom meeting, or maybe even meet them in person. And their job is to, eventually turn that prospect, someone who might be interested, into a paying customer. Now that step from A to B, although it sounds very simple, there's actually a lot of intricacies to actually make that happen. Now diving into the core responsibilities of what the day-to-day is like. So let's say you're coming into the office at 8 or 9 a.m., right? Essentially all you're really doing is you're looking at your calendar and you're saying, okay, how many meetings do I have today? And again, these meetings are booked by other people, whether it's a sales development rep, like a junior salesperson, or they have some kind of marketing to book meetings on your calendar. So you want to look at your calendar and say, okay, who am I going to talk to today? And a lot of times you're going to be talking to new potential customers. From there, you do a little research on who these guys actually are. What company are they from? Who's that person you're going to talk to? Are they the director of marketing, the VP of marketing, or are you talking to the CEO, right? And you want to do your research on LinkedIn or whatever method you want to use to get an understanding of who they are and guess what are they trying to accomplish, right? Why are they even reaching out to your company to begin with? So you can start framing the conversation and writing it down to questions you have ahead of time in preparation for that meeting. Now you've done some research at the beginning of your day and preparing for your calls. Next up is actually to get in the calls. Now, in this day and age, a lot of times account executives don't actually have to always go out and meet the customer face to face. You can actually close big deals either over the phone or let's say over a video conference call and essentially do the whole process remotely. And that's just a natural progression of how sales is going in today's market, in today's time. And typically on that call, what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be qualifying the customer to see, what are their problems and to see whether or not they're actually a good fit to buy your product and services, right? And so how the call actually goes is you just go, hey, John, how's it going? This is Patrick from Oracle. John's gonna say, oh, I'm doing great. And then you kind of just set the expectations for the call and then, walk them through your sales process in terms of asking questions, understanding their pains, get them talking, and to see what their goals are. So the whole point of an account executive, at this stage is actually not really selling. It's to understand the customer and have empathy for what they actually want to do. Only when you understand that, hey, they are actually a good fit and qualified to buy your product and service, then you do any type of selling, whether it's like a pitching or a demonstration or anything that shows off your product. You're gonna do that towards the end of the meeting or on another call. But on the first call, the day-to-day is really just asking questions and understanding the prospects and getting them to the next process of your sales cycle, which is to pitch. Now, a lot of people aren't even gonna be qualified. So as an account executive, you have to decide whether or not someone is even worth your time. Because if they don't have the money or they're not qualified, or that even if they buy, they're not gonna get results, well, you have to say, hey, look, it doesn't seem like we're a fit, totally okay, but if anything changes, feel free to reach back out. And that's just the process of selling, right? you actually have to disqualify a lot of people before you even get to the selling portion. And now let's talk about actually selling. So when I was working at Oracle and Lob, essentially I would only really be doing a pitch when I ask all these questions and I understand like, hey, this guy could potentially buy my products and services. And for a pitch, usually what's gonna happen is you're gonna have some type of template, right? And how it usually goes is like you have some type of template, whether it's like a PowerPoint or maybe it's a certain sales script that you go through. And for each specific person, you want to tailor your template for that specific person and for their pain points that they have. So generally, your pitch is going to be maybe like 70% the same for every single person that you talk to because you're selling the same product, right? However, you gotta change that 30% to tweak it specifically for those pain points. And the feeling you want to create when you are preparing for these presentations is like you want the person when they hear your pitch to feel like, oh wow, Patrick really understands me. That's exactly what we were looking for, right? And when you create that feeling and you create that sense like, oh, we really tried hard to customize a solution for you, even though it's really not that customized, but it's just presented in a way that's customized for them, people are a lot more likely to make a purchasing decision and buy your products and services because they feel like it's for them, right? And so as an account executive, you not only have to have the skills to do those type of presentations and to, get people to get emotionally invested, but you also have to do that research in crafting that pitch so the positioning of how you, position your product and service actually makes sense for the customer. And of course, everyone's favorite part after you do the pitch is actually going to be closing. What else, right? And as an account executive, you're the one that has to ask for the business because you have that relationship. If the customer says no, let's say, you ask for the close and they say, oh, we're not really interested. Well, as an account executive, you're gonna be the one that has to handle that objection. Why aren't they closing? What is the obstacle? And how can you overcome that obstacle and help change their perspective so that they actually want to buy your products and services, right? So it's a lot of objection handling and having the guts to actually ask for the business. Because you don't want to be an account executive that says, oh, feel free to reach back out when you want to buy, and they're never really going to respond to that and you're never going to hear from them again. So you have to have different closes prepared for your client. For example, you might say something like, hey John, everything looks good so far and I'm just curious to know, is there anything else you need to see before moving forward, right? That's just one of my soft closes that I like to use. But there are many different type of closes that work for different people. But the main point is that you got to find the closes that work for you as an account executive, and you cannot be afraid to ask for the business. Now, beyond selling and doing this whole sales process that I'm talking to you about, account executive also has more responsibilities if they want to become a senior account executive, or maybe they want to get a promotion to become a sales manager or a sales director or head of sales. They have to do some type of sales enablement activities, okay? So what is sales enablement? That's essentially just helping other people generate revenue, helping them sell, right? So if you're an account executive and you're doing extremely well, you're just killing it, crushing it, you're closing deals left and right, well, it's good that you're doing it and you're generating revenue for the company, but you want to, take those skills and take that knowledge and teach it to the rest of, the sales team, right? So if you see another account executive, maybe they are a junior account executive and maybe they're having a tough time selling. Well, you want to take everything that you know and pass it on to them and teach them what you know so that they start having success in their career. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you want to be a team leader and you want to be someone senior, you can't just hoard all the knowledge to yourself. You have to share it with the rest of your team and help them become more successful, because the more you make other people successful, the more people will consider you when they're looking for a sales manager or sales director, because essentially you are kind of coaching and teaching other people through that process that you already figured out. Not only that, but as an account executive, you're the one that actually has a relationship with the customer. So you have the pulse on what's hot and what's working in the market, and you have to communicate what's working in the market to the rest of your team, whether it's other salespeople, the product team, the marketing team, right? So for example, let's say you're on a call with a customer and they say something that really caught your attention, right? And you're thinking, oh, we can actually use that in the way we market our products and change our website and change the headline of our website, right? So you go back to the marketing team and you say, hey guys, I talked to this customer, they really want this feature, or they really want this. Can we change our product? Can we change our messaging so that we can align what we have for what that person wants? And as an account executive, you're the person that has to relay that because you have your post on the market, you are in the trenches, and you are talking to the customer. And by doing activities that aren't just focused on yourself and hitting your quota, but actually helping the company grow and helping other people grow, well, that's how you're going to advance into the more senior roles in sales. So with that said, that's typically what the day-to-day life is like as an account executive. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you want to see more videos like this. And if you want a free training on how to sell anything to anyone, or if you're considering starting your sales career, make sure to click the link in the description for a free training on how to sell anything to anyone. So with that said, my name is Patrick Dang, and I am going to see you guys in the next one.